Santa Monica's next project could be an RPG, Insomniac Games drops new Spider-Man 2 posters, Final Fantasy VII was a big sea change for the original PlayStation, and some quickfire game news. All that and more in today's PlayStation news. Let's get to them. Sony Santa Monica has been quiet about their next project after Ragnarok, with rumblings of a possible DLC being in the works, but it appears we have a hint about their next game. We are talking about Cory Barlog's next game, which Santa Monica writer Alana Pierce accidentally mentioned was a sci-fi project in a stream last June. Now a Resetera user has noticed an update to the LinkedIn profile for Santa Monica senior staff programmer Fernando Seco, in which he mentions he's part of the team working on an unannounced IP. He's specifically a world progression team lead, in charge of leading a small group of programmers in all things progression, including RPG systems, resource loading, spawning, save game, trophies, visual scripting, and more. With most games having RPG features nowadays, it's not a lot to go on, but hopefully we'll learn more about it soon. And soon we may see more Spider-Man 2 with all those whispers of a state of play happening this month, and Sony has to kick off the last marketing push for the game at some point. Well, Insomniac Games has published this week 2 new posters that have both Peter with the advanced suit and Miles with the upgraded suit. This doesn't mean much, but it may be another hint that they could be showing something else before the game drops next month. Now we have a look back at the original PlayStation generation and how Final Fantasy VII was the important title that made the biggest change for Sony back then. That's according to former PlayStation president Shawn Layden, who spoke with Eurogamer about the threat of non-gaming companies like Apple, Google and Netflix trying to disrupt the gaming market. He recalled that Sony at the time knew that entertainment was its own beast, and they didn't know much to get into games, thus they had to become big with third parties. PlayStation knew that we couldn't do what Sega and Nintendo did, and we didn't know enough to make it. We had to be the third party platform, so we had to get Namco, Square, EA, Activision. Those Sony Music guys are the ones that got Square to move Final Fantasy VII off to Nintendo and onto PlayStation. Probably the biggest sea change move. Square Enix also chose PlayStation due to the use of disc format instead of cartridge, and since then the Final Fantasy brand has become synonymous with PlayStation. Last week we had the bad news of yet another developer closure with Volition, after parent company Embracer announced a restructuring process following a deal that fell through. Volition was the original creator of franchises such as Red Faction and Saints Row, which will continue according to publisher Deep Silver. They tweeted that their thoughts were with everyone at Volition, and they were incredibly grateful for their work in those IPs that will continue at play on their parent company under Embracer. It's great those game ideas will continue forward, but still sucks for all the developers that have to pay for bad management at the top. Now let's go with some quick-fire game updates. Popular cat stealth game Stray is getting adapted into an animated movie by Annapurna Animation. Studio co-head Robert Baird spoke with Entertainment Weekly describing the retelling of the body comedy about a cat and a robot as a hope punk, a term used by developer Blue 12 that is all about what makes us human and there are no humans in the story. After Sea of Stars' launch success, developer Sabotage Studios is moving to work on the game's DLC. Director Thierry Boulanger spoke with Radio Canada explaining the team has been split in two, with half working on their next game and the other half on Throes of the Watchmaker, the DLC promised as a Kickstarter goal, which bridges Sea of Stars with the studio's first game, The Messenger. Another successful game has been the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster released by Square Enix on PS4, Switch and PC in April this year. The official Final Fantasy account announced on Twitter the game has sold 3 million copies across all platforms, thanking fans for their support. Let's just hope they don't do a 180 this time. We have another rumor on what's next for Rockstar Games following the much anticipated Grand Theft Auto 6. Twitter user My Time to Shine Hello, a usual leaker of games and movies, has said that Red Dead Redemption 3 is officially in the works, likely because they could be wrapping up development on the next GTA. With how long games take to make now, we could likely see RDR 3 within the next 6 to 7 years. Spongebob Squarepants The Cosmic Shake launched in January this year, but it only did so for PS4, Xbox One, Switch and PC, leaving current-gen platforms out. However, according to PSN data miner PlayStation Game Sites on Twitter, data for a PS5 version exists in the backend, likely to be announced soon. The Alone in the Dark reboot is the latest game to move out of a crowded October window. It was originally launching for PS5, Xbox Series and PC on October 25, that's the same week as Alan Wake 2, which wouldn't have made sense for two games of the same genre. Alone in the Dark will now launch on January 16, 2024. EA has officially announced its first World Rally Championship game after acquiring developer Codemasters. The game launches on November 3rd for PS5, Xbox Series and PC, with 18 official championship locations, 10 current WRC vehicles plus 68 race cars, and new features that make it race into a modern era. Sticking with EA, they have pushed a new update for Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is available now. It fixes several performance issues on console to substantially improve player experience, giving rock-solid 60 FPS while disabling ray tracing. Quality mode was also optimized to reduce FPS fluctuation, and this update adds VRR support for PS5 as well, plus a bunch of other fixes. And those are the PlayStation stories for today. What are your thoughts on them? Let us know in the comments below, give this video a thumbs up or down to let me know your feedback, check out more content you may like as well, and subscribe for more on PlayStation. Thank you so much for watching, my name is Joseph, this is Hype for Games, and let's get hyped!